Good afternoon. Today I want to introduce you to TRAIEX, but I am not going to ask you to believe in a beautiful concept, a promise of returns, or a technology that cannot be verified. First, we will look at the real problem TRAIEX solves. Then we will see what is already available inside the platform. And after that, we will open the actual interface and check everything directly in the product. You will see the trading platform, the automated strategies, the trade history, the management system, and the options for controlling your funds. And only after that will you decide for yourself how useful TRAIEX is for you. The presentation will consist of three parts. The first part is very short. We will look not at financial theory, but at the main reasons why most people either never use trading opportunities at all, or start, run into the complexity, and quickly stop. In the second part, we will go through TRAIEX, from buying cryptocurrency with traditional currency to manual and automated trading, withdrawals, and using MasterCard. And the third part is the demonstration. We will open the product and show what the user journey looks like, where the capital is displayed, how a strategy is connected, where the real trades appear, and how the user keeps control over the process. To understand the value of a solution, you first need to see the problem it solves. Today, people have access to opportunities that until recently were mostly reserved for banks, funds, and professional market participants. You can trade cryptocurrencies, stocks, indices, metals, and commodities. You can use the spot market, futures, different order types, and automated strategies. But having access does not mean a person can actually use it. What holds most people back is not a lack of desire to grow or to build capital. It is the lack of a system. Too many tools, too much information, too high a cost of every mistake, and the need to make decisions constantly. Trading on your own takes more than simply opening an account on an exchange. You need to understand the interface, analyze the market, define entry and exit points, calculate position size, limit risk, and constantly watch what is happening. But the biggest difficulty is not even knowledge. A person gets tired, they get distracted, they may panic during a drop and lock in a loss at the worst possible moment, or refuse to close a profitable position because they want to earn even more. The market does not pause while we sleep, work, or spend time with family. That is exactly why even good analysis does not always turn into a good result. Automation seems like the logical answer, but here the user faces a new choice. The first option is to trade on your own. The user stays in full control but takes on all the complexity: analysis, discipline, execution, and risk management. The second option is third-party automation. It often means finding software, creating API keys, choosing the right permissions, connecting several services, sometimes running separate server infrastructure, and constantly checking that the whole chain still works. The third option is handing the process over to a closed automated system. Technically, it is simpler, but a different problem appears. The user only sees numbers inside a separate dashboard, without understanding what is actually happening on the market and how much they can really intervene. None of these options is bad in itself, but each one comes with a trade-off. For a long time, the market offered people two opposite scenarios: either maximum control, but with it technical complexity, constant involvement, and the need to make every decision yourself, or simplicity, but with it dependence on a system the user cannot always fully verify. And this raises the main question: why should automation have to mean losing transparency? Why should keeping control mean doing all the technical and trading work yourself? Modern technology should remove this trade-off, not force the user to choose the lesser of two inconveniences. If we strip away the marketing promises and keep only the practical value, a good modern trading product has to meet 5 requirements. First, the user needs a clear path from fiat into digital assets and back. Second, the platform needs a full range of markets and trading tools, so the person does not outgrow it within a few months. Third, automation has to connect without hours of technical setup. Fourth, the user has to see exactly what the technology is doing. And fifth, they have to keep access to trading actions and to their own capital. These are the 5 criteria we will now use to look at TRAIEX. TRAIEX is not built as yet another standalone trading bot, or as a simple interface for buying crypto. It is a single trading environment. The user can bring in fiat currency, buy digital assets, trade on their own, use basic automated tools, connect AI trading, track the result, withdraw funds back to fiat, or use them through MasterCard. Instead of several scattered services, you get one clear user journey. And now we will walk through it step by step. The first obstacle a new user faces is not trading itself, but simply getting into crypto. Where to buy, how to transfer, how to fund the exchange, which network to use, how to get the money back afterwards. In TRAIEX, this path is built into the platform. The user can buy cryptocurrency with a bank card, Apple Pay, Google Pay, bank transfer, and other supported methods. After selling digital assets, the reverse path is available, receiving fiat. It may look like a basic feature, but in practice, the ease of moving funds in and out often determines whether a person will actually use the product or stop at their very first operation. It is important to understand TRAIEX is not limited to two assets or one automated strategy. On the spot market, 50 trading pairs are available. The platform also includes perpetual futures, covering crypto assets and derivatives linked to stocks, ETFs, indices, gold, silver, oil, gas, and other markets. For the available instruments, trading with leverage of up to 100 is supported. This matters not so that every user immediately starts trading at maximum risk. It shows that TRAIEX is able to support users as they progress, from their first crypto purchase to professional use of the markets. AI trading does not use leveraged futures. It follows a more conservative approach, while users who trade manually retain access to advanced tools. Inside the platform, basic and advanced order types are available: market, limit, stop, take profit, OCO, TWAP, and other execution management tools. Grid, DCA, and standard automated scenarios are also included. On many platforms, such features are either missing or offered through a separate service, a subscription, or an additional fee. In TRAIEX, there is no separate charge for using the basic automations. The user pays the standard trading commission, just like on a regular trade. This means the platform remains useful even for a person who prefers to define their own strategy and does not plan to connect AI trading right away. Everything we have looked at so far builds the foundation, but the key difference of TRAIEX is AI trading. This is not a telegram signal after which the user has to open a position in time themselves. This is not handing funds over to an unknown manager. And this is not a separate bot that you have to connect to another exchange yourself. AI trading is built into the TRAIEX infrastructure. The technology analyzes market data, makes trading decisions, and executes them inside the user's account. And the user gets not only the result, but also the ability to observe, verify, and manage the process. Third-party automation can be effective, but for a regular user, connecting it often becomes a separate technical project. You need to create API keys correctly, restrict permissions, connect several services, monitor the connection, and analyze the results separately in different interfaces. The person has not started trading yet, but is already forced to deal with infrastructure. In TRAIEX, the technical part is automated. After registration, funding the account, and purchasing a subscription, the user selects an available strategy, defines the amount of capital, and activates it. There is no need to manually create API keys, rent a server, or look for compatible software. The connection process is built so that even a person with no trading or technical experience understands what is happening. They see the available strategies, the terms, the metrics, and the capital limit. Then they decide for themselves how much to allocate to the strategy. After confirmation, the system activates inside the account. At this stage, it is especially important that the user always understands what is happening and where their funds are. They are not handing money over to an external dashboard and then waiting for a report. After launch, they get a separate AI trading management system, and at the same time, they can see the trading activity in the traditional exchange interface. This is one of the key elements of TRAIEX. The user gets a dedicated AI trading control panel. There they see the capital structure, the active strategy, the trading result, the number of trades, the win rate, the drawdown, the P&L, and other metrics. But they are not limited to this panel. The same operations appear in the regular TRAIEX trading interface, in the familiar format of an exchange. The user sees the orders, the execution history, and the real trading actions. This is exactly what separates transparent automation from a system that only shows you a final number. Usually the word automation is perceived as giving up control. In TRAIEX, the logic is different. The technology removes the need to analyze the market around the clock and execute every action manually, but it does not deprive the user of access to what is happening. The user can see an order being opened, track its execution, review the history, and when needed, step into the available parameters of a trade. They can cancel an order, close a position, or stop the strategy. In other words, TRAIEX automates trading actions, but does not exclude the owner of the capital from the process. The system works on the user's behalf without overriding their decisions. For most people, the main objection to automated trading is not even about the algorithm. They are afraid of losing control over their money. In TRAIEX, funds are not handed over to an external manager and are not sent to a separate, opaque platform. The capital is allocated to a strategy inside the user's own account. The user continues to see the balance, the trading operations, and the result. They keep the ability to stop the automation and manage their funds, taking into account open operations, security procedures, KYC, KYT, and the applicable requirements of the platform. Like any financial account, a TRAIEX account may be subject to review in certain circumstances, but the trading technology itself does not take control over the capital away from the user. The automated strategies of TRAIEX are deliberately not built on maximum risk. They work only with Bitcoin and Ethereum on the spot market. They do not use leveraged futures, which means there is no risk of forced liquidation, the kind that comes with a margin position. Automated trading also avoids low liquidity altcoins, whose prices can move sharply because of limited market volume. This does not mean there is no risk at all. BTC and ETH can fall in price, and recovery can take a long time and is not guaranteed. But the risk profile is clear. The user faces a market drawdown of the underlying asset, not an automatic liquidation caused by excessive leverage. Now that we have looked at where the trading happens, how the user sees the trades, and how the risk profile is limited, we can talk about results. The base strategy has been running for more than 18 months. In the presented report, the average historical return of the strategy exceeds 13% per month before the result is distributed between the user and the platform. Depending on the distribution level, the user's historical share ranged from 6.5% to 10.4% per month. On the chart, you see not one selected successful trade, but the month-by-month performance over the period shown. This is a historical result, not a promise that every following month will look the same. Any percentage in a presentation can be questioned, and that is the right reaction. This is why the value of TRAIEX lies not only in the results shown, but in the ability to verify it. The first level is the aggregated statistics of the strategy. The second is the user's personal dashboard, where the performance of their own capital is displayed. The third is the full history of orders and executed trades in the exchange interface. The user can see not only the final return, but also the trading operations it was built from. In the third part of the presentation, we will open these sections directly in the product. Any percentage in a presentation can be questioned, and that is the right reaction. This is why the value of TRAIEX lies not only in the results shown, but in the ability to verify it. The first level is the aggregated statistics of the strategy. The second is the user's personal dashboard, where the result of their own capital is displayed. The third is the full history of orders and executed trades in the exchange interface. The user can see not only the final return, but also the trading operations it was built from. In the third part of the presentation, we will open these sections directly in the product. Transparent trading has to come with operational security. TRAIEX applies KYC procedures to identify users, along with account-level protection for access and operation confirmation. To analyze crypto transactions, the platform uses KYT systems, Chainalysis and Elliptic. KYT makes it possible to assess the origin of funds and the risk level of the addresses involved in a transaction. For the user, this means the platform does not simply execute transfers, it applies international blockchain analytics and compliance tools. And one honest note, a higher risk transaction may trigger an additional review. That is not a flaw. It is a normal part of modern financial infrastructure. Usually, the user's journey ends at the exchange balance. To actually use the funds, you have to withdraw crypto, send it to another service, go through extra steps, and pay fees again. In TRAIEX, a card is already available. The user can issue it and manage it directly from their personal account, with the balance, operations, and settings in one place. Fewer intermediate transfers, fewer external services, one path from the trading balance to everyday spending. The card is not the main product of TRAIEX, but it completes the user journey. Availability and issuance terms depend on your country, verification, and the card provider. TRAIEX does not require starting with the maximum subscription. Trial Trader costs 50 USDT per year and allows allocating up to 500 USDT to a strategy. This is the option for a person who wants to test how the product works with a small initial commitment. But for the main audience, we recommend Light Trader. It costs 200 USDT per year and allows using up to 2,000 USDT of capital in AI trading. At that volume, the user already gets experience worth paying attention to, while the cost of the subscription stays accessible. Starter Trader costs 500 USDT and allows allocating up to 5,000. This is the option for users with that amount of capital who want to begin with a larger allocation. The full lineup includes plans up to 10,000 USDT per year, with a capital limit of up to 250,000 USDT. One of the strongest features of the subscription model is the grace period for upgrading. After the purchase, the user gets 90 days to move up to the next level by paying only the difference. For example, someone starts with Trial Trader at 50 USDT. If the product fits, they add 150 and move to Light Trader. After that upgrade, they get another 90 days, and if needed, they add 300 more and move to Starter Trader. This lowers the risk of the first decision. You do not have to buy an expensive subscription upfront, and you do not have to pay for a whole new plan later. The subscription gives access to the technology for 365 days. Separately, there is a performance fee. At the end of the day, the system determines the overall trading result. If the day closes with a negative result, no performance fee is charged. If the day is profitable, the result is distributed between the user and the platform. At the base level, the user keeps 50%. By freezing the TRAIEX token, their share can gradually increase up to 80%, while the platform's share drops to 20%. The subscription pays for a year of access to the infrastructure and the technology, while the performance fee arises only on a positive trading day, and it can be reduced in your own favor. TRAIEX also has a partner program, but we deliberately do not start with it, and we will not overload you today with levels, structures, and calculations. The logic should run in the right order. First, a person becomes a user. They explore the product, see the interface, connect the technology, verify the trading, and form their own opinion. Only after that does it make sense to recommend TRAIEX to other people and receive rewards for growing the user ecosystem. The partner model includes rewards from subscriptions and from the trading activity of the team. We will go through the details separately, because today our task is to prove the standalone value of the product. Now we have come to the most important part. You can talk for a long time about automation, transparency, and control, but the best way to understand a financial product is to see it in action. So now we will step out of the presentation and open a real TRAIEX account. We will show the dashboard, the capital structure, the active strategy, the analytics, the trade history, the exchange terminal, the management options, and the card section. Pay attention not only to the numbers, watch the connection between the interfaces, where the capital is, where the strategy is displayed, and where the real trading operations are visible. This is the user's dashboard. Here you see the total capital and how it is distributed, how much is allocated to the base strategy, how much to Pro, how much remains in the spot wallet, and how much TRAIEX is frozen. The entire state of the account on one screen. The buy and sell section is the entry point into the ecosystem. You choose the amount and the asset, USDT, Bitcoin, Ethereum. Payment by card, bank transfer, Apple Pay, or Google Pay. Two routes. An aggregator finds the best rate, or a direct provider with cashback. Selling works the same way in reverse, an aggregator or directly to your TRAIEX card with an instant top-up. The rate on screen already includes all fees, so you see the final amount before you confirm. Money moves in both directions. Now we move to the trading section. At the top, the active strategy, the allocated capital, the current profit, and the dynamics for the period. Below, the full statistics, the number of trades, profit and loss, win rate, drawdown, and the history. This is personal analytics for a specific account, not a general marketing chart. With the selector, we switch between strategies. Right now, Pro is selected, a more dynamic strategy with its own capital and history. Let's open the strategy settings. There are two key parameters here. The risk level, from conservative to aggressive, is changed with a simple slider. And the market, Bitcoin or Ethereum. The user defines the conditions, but no technical setup is required. Let's look at the available subscriptions. On this account, the plan is already close to the maximum, so only one upgrade is available. In total, the lineup starts at 50 USDT and goes up to 10,000 USDT per year. Each level allows a higher capital allocation. The details show what the upgrade gives you, the new capital limit, and the terms. And in the settings, the same three decisions belong to the user: the risk level, the allocated capital, and the choice of market. The system does not get access to the whole balance. Now let's focus on the trading history. The trades are visualized in a convenient format, but every position is in fact two operations from the exchange terminal. The first is buying Bitcoin, the second is selling it. You see the buy price, the sell price, and the result. And now let's check those trades where they are actually executed. We move to the exchange terminal and open the execution history, order fills. And here they are, the same limit buys and limit sells at the same prices we saw a moment ago. We see the trading pair, the price, the volume, and the execution time. If there is an active order, the user can open its parameters and see the available actions. This screen proves the control panel does not exist separately from real trading. Let's test control. We choose to stop the strategy. Done. New trades stop opening. And with the same switch, we activate it back. The technology works on the user's behalf without overriding their decisions. Now let's test something you usually cannot verify in closed systems. We will withdraw not the profit, but part of the capital of the trading strategy itself. We enter the amount, confirm, and the funds are instantly available on spot. The capital is not locked inside the strategy until the end of the subscription. The user can withdraw part of it or all of it at any moment without asking for permission. The capital stays under the owner's control. We move to the transactions section and see the record of the withdrawal we have just made, with its status and amount. Every operation leaves a trace in the history. The TRAIEX Card section. The card is issued and managed directly from the personal account. Balance, top-up, withdrawal, card details, and blocking. The trading result can not only be withdrawn, but also used in everyday payments. Now let's withdraw funds to an external wallet. The platform shows the available methods: an address on the main networks, Ethereum, Tron, BNB Smart Chain, Solana, Polygon, or directly to popular wallets. We select the BNB network and fill in the address and the amount. The operation is protected by a double confirmation, a code from the email and Google Authenticator. The request is created and will be processed automatically. In the wallet history, you see all deposits and withdrawals with transaction numbers and statuses. The full path of the funds is transparent and verifiable. That concludes the demonstration. Today, you have seen not a future idea, and not a presentation of a product that is still only planned. You have seen a working trading platform. You have seen the ability to fund the account with Fiat, get access to markets, use professional tools, connect AI trading, observe real operations, manage strategies, and keep control over your capital. We are not suggesting that you start with the maximum amount. The first step should be comfortable. For most users, the optimal start is Light Trader at 200 USDT per year, with the ability to allocate up to 2,000 USDT to a strategy. For the most cautious introduction, there is Trial Trader at 50 USDT. And if you have capital of up to 5,000 USDT and want to use a larger limit right away, there is Starter Trader. After the purchase, you have 90 days to evaluate the product and upgrade your plan by paying only the difference. The registration QR code is on the screen. You can register right now, top up your balance, and activate your subscription. Not because we asked you to take a promise on faith, but because you have just seen a product that you can verify yourself.